mean, I gotta like intro you as a guest.
Oh,
be like,
okay.
welcome to size 10, everybody.
Oh, there you go.
It's another episode.
Thought maybe you cut that in later. You know what I mean?
No, this is uncut.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
No, this is
a lot like my dick. Hey,
Yeah,
there we go.
yeah,
Getting
European.
started early.
Hell yeah. Okay, yeah, we're back. Bjorn is like floating on a river with his family. And so I brought in Drew. Needed a guy with a beard.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, this is Drew Wilson McGrath, one of my favorites in the Portland scene. We always, like, when we talk at mics, we always just say something ridiculous and laugh about it. So I was like, we got to come on the pod.
Ridiculous and sometimes problematic, but you know, that's...
almost always. We're some of the more toxic straight white males
yeah.
in America, let alone Portland.
What's said behind a closed bar door stays behind a closed bar door unless somebody's recording it.
Yeah, exactly. In which case, here we're just sending it out to the universe.
Yeah, it's like, hey, take a bite out of this world. How you feeling?
So yeah, you said you got stuck in traffic.
Yeah, well, which is not super uncommon in Portland because the city design here is god awful, and I think you probably talked about that on previous pods.
We've probably mentioned it, but honestly, maybe not. We started this in the pandemic, so when traffic wasn't really that bad.
That's what I loved most about the pandemic.
I liked a lot of things about it, but that was one of them.
It's like, you know what? Bring another pandemic on if it means less of these people are on the road.
This one evidently didn't work very well because the shit's back.
Yeah. Whoever created this, do better, all right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Hey, Wuhan, back in the lab, boys. Let's
Wuhan,
get to work.
Step it up. Step it up, all right?
Yeah, this one didn't do the trick.
Try something other than monkeys, all right? Maybe like crickets and see how far they go, you know?
I thought they did bats.
Oh, they did bats? Well, there had to be monkeys in there somewhere.
Probably.
The theory is a bat.
They've been used in research
But let's be honest, that's what the American news was saying, and we can't trust any news, let alone what's being told to us.
That was definitely fake.
Anyway, I don't want to get too conspiratorial.
Yeah, no, we're first page on Reddit already.
There we go, yeah. I just want to bitch about traffic, which is like the third page on Reddit. Anyway.
Yeah.
No, but the city design here is terrible, so that, like, you know, in a small, if not insignificant accident, somebody just being pulled over on the side of the highway, you know, 6 miles away from where you're at, will back you up all the way to where you're at. So, you know, originally I pop into my maps that I'm 25 miles away when I'm 25 minutes away when I'm on my way over here. And then progressively I'm looking at it and it's like 35 minutes, 40 minutes. I'm like on the road and this is happening. I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? This is like, I don't like this version of time travel. This sucks. And you know, ultimately I'm just so frustrated because it's a Saturday. It's a beautiful day. Being stuck in traffic is massively inconvenient. But the weirdest part was I finally get to kind of the end of where the traffic's finally starting to ease up a little bit, and you see the one vehicle that's causing this whole massive traffic jam, and it's just some poor old lady in a Honda Civic just sitting there, you know, and I didn't feel sorry for her at all.
No,
this is the
you
whole
can't.
point. I'm like, fuck you. You've inconvenienced me. Meanwhile,
so what happened to her car?
I don't know. It looked like she rear-ended somebody. Not rear-ended somebody, but that somebody had rear-ended her and like taken out one of her tires. And so she had to like pull over to the side of the road, and you know, like on when you're getting to this,
where on the road was it?
This
like
was
what part of the.
So this was
you're coming from the west side.
Yeah, so this was on
both west side
the
boys.
2-lane highway when you take the Dallas Seattle exit.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're going off to, it's like you're headed on I-84 basically at that
like
point.
Right where you get on
right
84.
at the junction where people are coming on I-84 to hit this part of Portland.
Yeah.
And then right when people from the west side are coming over to, like, you know, go downtown or something. It was literally the perfect time of day for this woman to be in a horrible, not even horrific, but like inconvenient accident.
Yeah.
And she's sitting there looking so calm, and I'm like, move your car, like do more than what you're doing right now. And it just, I got so frustrated at her, and I realized, like, I feel I don't feel bad for this person at all. Like, she's the one stuck. I'm just on the way to a pod, and I'm like, I don't feel bad for you at all.
All right, move the mic a little closer.
There we
talk
go.
right into
There
like
we
a
go.
stand-up mic. I'm sure they picked it up, but like.
Oh, it sounded good in here. I just know.
I definitely could hear you.
Consciously, I know I'm a little loud as a person, so I don't want to like blow out people's ears.
No, you probably won't. Bjorn can play around with the levels.
Okay, cool.
He's pretty awesome with
Good.
that.
But yeah, traffic sucks, you know. Let's write it. Like, who has a stand-up routine about that, you know? Traffic
nobody.
sucks.
I don't think I've ever heard a joke about traffic, dude. I think
airplanes maybe.
Yeah, airplanes once or twice, but I think they both have lots of room.
Yeah, a lot of shit about airplanes.
Yeah.
What's your biggest gripe about the city so far? I mean, because you've been here what?
I've been
3
here
years?
almost 4 years.
Almost 4 years.
Yeah, my biggest gripe about Portland. I don't know. I really like Portland for the most part.
Oh man,
honestly, I really do. Like, I mean, I guess like there's some stuff that just makes me roll my eyes. you know?
Yeah. Like
It's just
voodoo donuts.
Yeah, there's
You're
the
just like,
goofy
fuck.
shit.
Yeah.
I think the lines for like food that isn't that good.
That's a good
Dude, like
one.
brunch lines.
Oh, dude, the brunch lines
like,
here are murderous.
They
They're
are,
so
and
bad.
like I don't even like I don't care about brunch.
Well,
I
here's
don't even want to go.
Yeah.
But people come to visit and they're like, oh my gosh, let's get brunch. And then we stand for an hour and a half. And then we get an omelet that's good, but it's regular.
Yeah, and here's the
like
thing.
it's just regular.
It's okay.
They're
And
like, oh, we have
mimosas
9
suck.
kinds of mimosas. Great.
Yeah, mimosas are awful.
You got orange? That's the one I want.
Yeah. No,
That's
and
the one I'll
not a damn chef in Portland. Well, you can't name chefs. Not a damn cook in Portland knows how to make a hash brown properly.
Really?
Not a single fucking one.
You might be right.
That's
I
my
haven't
biggest
ever
gripe.
had a hash brown here that was like as good as some shit I had in Montana.
Dude, a hash brown needs to be, and this, of course, is where this podcast is going to go, is immediately toward food. For
I'm good with
a
that.
big guy that hasn't eaten, but
I like hash browns.
hash browns need to be crispy on the top and then crispy on the bottom, and a little chewy and malleable in the middle.
Fluff in the middle.
But that's the thing is because it's funny. I actually used to work down the way from here. You've probably driven by it. The Gateway Breakfast House.
Okay.
So I used to do my weekend shifts there because I used to work full time and then work on the weekends because I literally needed to be that busy to feel sane.
Oh, okay.
And so I would work as a breakfast
So that
cook.
explains why you do comedy.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why I would work as a breakfast cook on the weekend there, and I learned how to make hash browns because you have to make hash browns in a really quick environment for literally hundreds of people a day.
Okay.
They're coming in like it's cattle, basically. So the way that needs to be is that you throw a little bit of oil on the grill and you crisp them up at the very bottom, and you got to let them sit on a flat top for like 10 minutes to get them going.
Interesting.
And then you flip it, and that's where it usually goes wrong.
So do you start with raw potatoes for the hash browns? Or you
raw shredded potatoes.
Shredded raw potato.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, like a standard breakfast joint, they're all frozen. They come in a bag. You pull them out. They defrost on the grill. That's part of the reason why you got to cook them so long.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, what a lot of cooks will do to just turn it out quicker is they'll crisp up the top side, they'll flip it, and then they'll barely brown the bottom. So you're basically eating mashed potatoes with crispy mashed potato straws on top.
Crispy on top mashed
It's
potatoes.
awful.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's like, and then you're like, put ketchup on it, and it doesn't make me feel better
The other thing I'm not a fan of in the breakfast potatoes, I'm not a fan of like the big chunks, like the home fried type of potatoes. I know they're like fancier or something, but I like a nice shredded hash brown.
And it's hard to get those things crispy, like the home fries.
Yeah,
the only way
they're
to
gonna
do it
be
is to
burnt
deep fry
on
them.
the outside and raw in the middle, or there's something.
Just cut
something's
out
gotta
the
give.
middleman and give me tater tots with ranch on it and slap an egg on top, because that's what most Americans want.
I'll eat tater tots. I love tater tots.
with
They're
egg.
delicious.
There's a food cart out in Astoria where I have one of my shows, and it's literally called On Tots. And their whole menu is this item on top of tater tots. And I'm like, yes, hell yeah. But also, where have we gone wrong as America? That we're just like, we're going to, whatever it is, slap it on some tater tots, and that's a meal. I don't know, man. I guess I don't
think
agree
you've
with
lived
it.
in Portland too long. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm
too
just hearing
picky.
this. I'm like, everything's right about this.
This is a great idea.
This is why this country was founded.
I guess
I believe.
I'm the type of person that needs something to be angry about, and if it's not traffic, I'm definitely going to tater tots.
You're going to tater tots.
And I love
you just
them. That's the thing.
anything you can think
Like,
of. You're
I
like,
love
how
tater
can I be
tots.
mad about this?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's such a problem. I actually have a pretty good life, so I don't know.
I know,
why
me
go
too.
that way.
I feel like we're kind of similar in that. Like both of our comedy is like getting angry about some shit that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like
Most people enjoy that, and you're like, what's wrong with you that you're not expressing?
yeah, I'm
Right?
just like, I'm running out of shit to be mad about. You imperfect produce.
Yeah,
Fuck that.
I'd be mad about it too. This weird like dwarf produce that people are selling you, and there's extra sprouts and like
The
lumps
fucking
on this.
Carrot's got a curve in it. Fuck you.
The carrots look so sad and like emaciated, and they're like, it's
Yeah.
imperfect. You're like, no, this is garbage that you're selling
This is
me.
trash. This is compost.
You know, fucking Applebee's threw this out, and you guys stole it from a trash can, and you're selling it to me.
yeah,
on the cheap.
Applebee's couldn't fix this with their microwave. So like, what are you doing?
Telling me it's from fucking Newburgh.
Trying to act like you feel like it just makes you feel better, like you think you're making a difference, and you're not.
Yeah,
You're ordering
no.
groceries through a mail order service.
It's like it's this kind of the same thing with people that they'll go to places like Whole Foods exclusively because they want the organic food there, and I'm like, okay, I get it. Maybe you want your stuff to be a little bit healthier or know more about where it comes from, but you notice like it's smaller. It looks less green. It looks less healthy. I mean, you view this stuff and you're like, it doesn't look as digestible as what has like hormones and steroids in it, and that includes my lettuce. You know, I'm like, give me my lettuce. I want it to look big. No, and
I do
thick.
shop almost. I shop almost exclusively at New Seasons, but it's because it's 2 blocks from my house.
Oh, okay, it's not because you're a yuppie fuck. It's because it's close to your house.
I'm also elitist, and it really gives me a feeling of superiority.
You
I'm
like
just
spending
like, look at my
$15.
fancy groceries.
Yeah, you like spending $15 for a half pound of coffee.
Oh, look at this peach. This peach cost me $3.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, for a peach. I like the tangent there. So your least favorite part of Portland is standing in line for food that sucks, and that's like half the food here.
It doesn't suck. It just is regular, but people hype the shit up like it's gonna change my life. Every Portland place I've ever been to that was hyped to that extent, I was just disappointed. You know, every place we're like, oh my god, dude, you gotta go here, fucking amazing, whatever they make, dude, it's gonna blow your mind. Portland is full of culinary geniuses. These people are revolutionizing food. And you're like, they put some stuff from one place into something from another place, and it's edible. It's sustained life. I didn't get sick. What do you want me to tell you?
Portland is a big city with a small town vibe as far as like the niches that people are really into. And I mean, obviously, you get that on like a neighborhood level when you go out to like the Alberta district and stuff like that. I mean,
I love that part of Portland.
Yeah, it's really awesome. But like I get it, because so my parents live in Oregon City, and when we moved up here from California, we moved to Oregon City. And there's a Mexican food joint in Oregon City called Super Torta. And in my opinion, it is delicious. And having come from Los Angeles, like where Mexican food is everything there, I thought it was pretty damn good for Oregon Mexican food. So I hype this joint up whenever I can. I'm like, go to Super Torta in Oregon City. They have another location in Portland. I've never been there, and I'm like, that location shit. You got to go to the one. You got to go to the one in Oregon City.
That's the OG location.
It's the original.
They hired new people up here.
Cruz is the one that runs the one in Oregon City. He's the founder. You got to go there. Like the carne asada is going to be any better. And I've been there before, and their food sucks at times. I mean, not like
it like goes up and down.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, but that's going to happen with any restaurant when you have fresh ingredients. Like there's going to be a time of day where you get the carne asada that's 3 hours old. It's still fresh. It's just not as fresh as when they first made it. So like, yeah, you get a bad batch, but I never think about that. I'm always just like, yeah, that's the best Mexican food place. It's also a mile and a half from where my parents live, so it's convenient and cheap as fuck.
My favorite Mexican food place still to this day is a converted school bus in my hometown.
Ooh.
In Dillon, Montana, Fiesta Mexicana. Everybody calls it the taco bus, but
but their
it's
real
fire,
name is...
dude. Fiesta Mexicana. It's so good. I literally ate there a week ago, and it still tastes exactly the same.
They're like, we're not going to pronounce it right. We're going to call it the taco bus, because that's what that is.
Yeah, I mean, it's Dillon, Montana, so everybody's like, it's a bus that sells tacos.
Don't try to make me say Fiesta. What the hell's wrong
Fiesta. With you? Yeah, no, is that a Ford car?
You think
At least it's made in America.
Taco Bell can't really even spice up their menu in Montana?
We don't have a Taco Bell in Dillon. We have a Taco John's.
Taco John's?
Dude, you ever been to Taco John's?
No, I never have.
If you ever see one, track one down. It's fantastic. They put tater tots in a burrito. It's fucking amazing.
Back to the goddamn tots.
Dude,
See,
back to the tots.
They're
they
everywhere.
call them potato olays. Oh. It's like a Midwest Tex-Mex fast food chain.
Okay. Northern Tex-Mex. It's just a completely different vibe.
Must be. I don't know. They've got something
sadder.
called the crunchy chicken and potato burrito, which is a burrito with chicken nuggets, the potato olays, which are tater tots, like lettuce, tomato, and sour cream and cheese.
God, that actually sounds really good.
It's so fucking good.
Man.
It's one of the dumber foods that you could ever eat, but it's tremendous.
It is. It sounds very white when you think of the fact that it's like considered, it's like a Mexican dish in a way. It almost sounds like a American sandwich into a burrito.
It's precisely what it is.
Totally acceptable though.
Yeah.
Like I'd eat that in a heartbeat right now.
It's so good. It's so good.
Oh my gosh.
It's so stupid, but it's so good.
Oh man. Give me some food. See, now everybody listening to this podcast, I hope you've eaten at this point.
No, I hope they're all hungry, and I hope they all go and support restaurants that we mention on this podcast. I hope they name drop us, and then we get sponsors.
And personally, I hope that they're starving in traffic right now, and they resent everything that we're talking about.
Yeah, let's
Oh god.
Okay, so what are these shoes? Let's talk about your shoes.
These shoes. So can the camera see these right now, or do I need to like present them?
Hold them up.
Hold on. Here we go.
Let's talk about your relationship with shoes.
My relationship with
shoes. You had a good text about that.
Yeah, no. So I'm really not much of a shoe guy, but I am the type of guy that needs to wear shoes to keep his feet from the rest of the world. I got ugly ass feet.
You got weird feet.
I mean, it's not
a promising OnlyFans for you.
No, not at all. Like I couldn't even put whipped cream on these things and get away with it. You know what I mean? And there's some weird lines in OnlyFans that a lot of people can cross. I can't cross any of them.
It's not for you.
I've and I hate to out my mom for this. My mom has toenail fungus. I mostly like inherited her toenail fungus. Like I didn't have it until I went to college, and you're sharing showers with all these dudes in the gym.
And that's where the fungus took hold.
And like now that it's in there, it won't go anywhere. So sorry everybody that I'm like the least clean foot guy here.
No, there's probably somebody with fucked up feet somewhere that's like, I'm not alone.
Yeah, everybody.
I feel seen.
And that's the thing is like, okay, so I've got those weird pinky toes that like they're completely useless on my feet. Like I don't
really? Because mine, I do things with my pinky toes all day.
I can't even move my pinky toe.
I can play the piano with mine.
Fuck yeah.
Who fucking uses their pinky toes?
Well,
I think they're for balance.
So like my
Isn't
girlfriend,
that all they're for?
Yes, mostly. So like, and that's the thing is like mine are, because I wear boots almost exclusively, which we're gonna get to. Like mine have been smushed together. My feet have been smushed together into like a boot shape over a period of years, which they're not like horrible from a construction standpoint, but the nails don't grow right. My pinkies are kind of smashed to the side of my feet, so they are completely useless. Like I know people, my girlfriend being one of them, who can like move her pinky toe independent of the rest of her toes.
I'm literally trying to do that right.
And she can do it, and she can like control it, and I have no ability to do that.
I don't think I can either. I can move all my toes in like a wave.
Yeah.
You know?
I can move my big toe independent of everything else, and then the other four toes just they're like the same entity.
Yeah,
they'll
I think
just move together.
I've never really put a lot of thought into this, but I'm doing it right now.
Yeah.
Wiggling my toes. In case you guys are listening, I'm wiggling my toes.
We're wiggling
now.
them, baby.
But yeah.
New OnlyFans. Wiggling toes. That's it.
You got to get money somewhere. But like, yeah, I think my toes are the same. I think the four smaller toes just kind of are all together.
Well, you
They're
like
a team.
You hunt a lot, right?
I do.
Yeah, and then you're outdoors a lot, and you're probably not wearing like you're not wearing a pair of Nikes when you're out hunting.
No, I'm not.
Exactly. You're wearing boots, and like you move and you walk and you put weight in them, and your toes move and they smash and then they retract, and it's like I've been doing it for so long in these boots that's how my feet are formed now, and then that on top of the fact that like this is so gross, but I mean like I have like heavily calcified toenails, so they're hard to cut.
Yeah.
And like even if
you got to get the Dremel out.
I'm the type of guy that if I go to get a manicure, I feel bad for the person doing the work on my feet. I'm like, you need to have like a civil engineering degree to do work on my feet successfully. Like, you need to be able to have a plan or a blueprint.
You might need to go to the county for a permit.
My mom took me to get a pedicure once, and it was this place in Oregon City. It was like $25 for a pedicure.
Yeah.
And I got in there, and the women, like these Vietnamese women that run the place, had a good relationship with my mom, and so I sit down, they look at my feet, and they look at my mom, and they're like, we're gonna need more than $25 for this job. I was like, shit, man, this sucks.
We got to bill overtime on this job.
They're like, we're gonna have to pull out the saw, and I'm like, the saw? What do you mean?
Our standard PPE isn't gonna cut it.
We have a back room for what this guy needs. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. So down the street, there's a fab shop.
A fab shop?
No, I'm trying to continue the character.
Yeah. No, that's it. I'm just like we have a guy for this
we got
work.
a belt sander down the street that they use after they weld shit.
Oh yeah, we have it on loan for people like you. We're
gonna have to take a CAD model of his feet so we can use the plasma table.
I love that shit. So I mean, okay, so you're a shoe guy. Before I talk about these, so what I wanted to find out, because I listened to a couple episodes of the pod on the way over here. So your favorite when you're out, either doing comedy or you're out just going to a bar having fun with friends or whatever. What's your like go-to pair of shoes? Do you have a go-to, or do you have like multiple go-tos?
I have a go-to right now. It's a pair I just got. They're the Nike Blazer Low Sakai.
Okay. Don't know what that is.
You've probably seen me wear them and didn't care. I was wearing them at that mic the other night.
Oh, okay. No, I did see those because I'm paying attention more now.
Gray and green and white.
Yeah, those were pretty nice, actually.
Yeah, I like them because they're like a little bit hyped, but not crazy hyped. Yeah. They're loud, but they're also not crazy.
Mm-hmm. What's the like most? So when you say hyped, is that more in reference to like the style of the shoe and kind of like?
Oh, no, it's
or like the hype surrounding the shoe.
Yeah, there's hype surrounding some of these shoes where they like sell out instantly, and they're like immediately worth 3 times what people paid.
Oh,
that
hype
kind of thing.
Beasts. That's what you're talking about, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, no,
so
I
these
gotcha.
have a little hype around them. Like they immediately were worth like $50 more than they sold for.
Oh wow!
And they sold out immediately, but they weren't like. They didn't like triple in price or anything, so they're not one of those.
So are you like mostly a Nike guy? Like if you had a brand allegiance?
I do Nike and Adidas kind of back and forth.
That's good that you can mix it up. I know some people that are like one brand and one brand only.
Most
I'm like,
of those
that's too
people
much.
work for Nike or Adidas though. I don't know if you've talked to people who work for like especially Nike, but both of them really.
Like, you have to wear that gear.
If you work for Nike, you can't own Adidas.
No.
Like, they get mad at you if you have some in your house.
Dude, you know what would be a great prank to play on somebody that works for Nike that you don't like? Is before they go to work one day, just in these, like, conspicuous places on their car, slap Adidas logos. Just like, freaking bumper stickers, just Adidas on the back.
Just put a Kanye CD in
Take a picture and then hit the Nike IG and be like, yo, this guy works for you. He just showed up to the Beaverton lot.
Dude, he might get fired for that.
For real.
Nike takes that shit so serious.
Dude, it's crazy. Okay, so I live about 2 miles away from the Nike campus.
Okay.
So I drive by it a lot when I'm just like doing chores or like going on a hike or something like that. That place looks like it is a facility, obviously. It's a campus, but it looks like when the world ends, that's where the person that takes over, they take over from there. It looks like a base is what it feels like. And you drive by there and there's like 3 ways to get in, and you can kind of see like these, it's like a crystalline palace on the inside. And then right across the street is a guy jacking off on the corner outside of like and you're like gentrification at its finest, man.
Oh God.
Oh God. And it's like at every hour of the day. But yeah, it feels cultish, man. It's like borderline Scientology.
Dude, everyone I know that works there, like they start talking about it and you're like, oh wow, this is like, they're pretty strict with you guys, huh? Like, yeah, it's real. It is a little cultish when you talk to people. No hate on Nike, but like,
well, they would kill us if we hated on them too much. They have resources, man.
Yeah, I know. Phil Knight's going to track us down. He's going to find this.
He's got at least one hitman on retainer.
Yeah. Definitely. At least one.
At least one. You know?
He finds out you're a Beavers fan. You're fucking over.
You know what's crazy is that now that we got into the Beavers topic, it's like he actually donated money to Oregon State too.
Really?
Not just U of O. So like it's a disproportionate amount of money, sure. And because I mean, like they have the night arena at U of O and everything.
Yeah,
so he's a big proponent of that school, but he donated money to Oregon State too. So a lot of the Oregon State fans that are kind of just like, oh, screw U of O, they get all the Nike money. I'm like, Nike gives us money too. They give us jerseys. Like we were sponsored by Nike. We've been sponsored by Nike for the longest time. It's like, it's not like we're not benefiting from this guy being in state. It's just he prefers U of O, and who can blame him? You know? Oh God, I can't believe I just said that. Sorry.
Well, it's on tape forever now.
Yeah, no shit.
Your Beavers cred.
Yeah, don't ever show this to Sam Whiteley. I don't think he'll ever talk to me again.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, he would hate me.
He definitely loves the Beavers like a lot.
You know what? I thought that I was a fan of Beaver sports, and then I met him, and that guy. I mean, obviously he's got a podcast. He's got the Peyton years about it, but it's like he goes deep and historically deep to the point where he knows Beaver basketball players from college from like 1976.
Oh wow!
And I'm just like, damn, you're an
always
encyclopedia.
Impressed with guys who like know that kind of sports knowledge. Like I got a buddy that we were at like bar trivia one time, and it was just like Major League Baseball jersey numbers.
Oh man!
And my buddy got 9 out of 10.
What?
And I was like, "What the fuck, bro?
No, can't do that.
How do you know any of these?"
And I'm kind of a nerd for sports.
Jersey numbers, like he was going back to like the 60s. This kid's my age.
Shit.
And I was like, dude. How?
He's like, I haven't talked to a woman in 4 years.
It was debatable, but like whether or not that was true, possibly. But nonetheless, very impressive knowledge.
It is
of baseball jerseys.
Yeah, and see, like I'm a big, like, I love pro football, right? I mean, I play football, like fantasy football, so you got to like keep track of a lot of players.
You
and
play
their
football or fantasy?
I mean, I look like I play football, but I don't. You know, like
did you like in high school?
No,
college?
so I never played in high school or college, but I've always been fascinated by the game. Like growing up, that was the person that was kind of my father figure. He was a huge football fan, so he taught me how to play like all the positions when I was a young kid. And so I've always been fascinated by it. And like I feel like I have a bit of an encyclopedia for that kind of thing.
Sure.
But it's not as historical, right? Like I can't cite stats. I can't tell you jersey numbers or anything like that. I like it more because I'm gambling on it every year. That's where the value is for me.
Yeah,
it's like,
you
I gotta
pay
know
attention.
all this.
You pay attention to the guys that matter to you at the moment. Type of thing.
Yes and no, but like I also pay attention to teams and all that other stuff. And
what's your football team?
The Dallas Cowboys, which is like a huge. Most people will be like, "Fucking boo," and I get it because it's the most.
I think most people see you and then you say the Dallas Cowboys and they're it checks out.
It clicks, yeah. Which is like, look, dude, I'm a guy with gay parents from Los Angeles, and I ended up like a dude with one dad who hated women from Nebraska. Like that's I don't know how I ended up looking and feeling like that, but that's just the natural path that things took. But no, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. It's actually my grandpa. So back to the boots a little bit.
Yeah.
I bought these boots and they're a little tore up because I use them and I didn't clean them before I got here.
No,
but
that's what you're supposed to do with boots.
These boots are about $200. I bought them at, I think it was Al's Boot Barn, which was like an outlet place out here.
Okay.
And my grandfather passed away late last year, like right before the new year, give or take a little bit, right? Okay. And he was a good Irishman and he didn't necessarily believe in banks. So he stashed a lot of money around his house.
Nice.
And he stashed it cash wise in like small bills. So he had a couple hundreds, but mostly he had stacks and stacks and stacks of fives that acted as his savings over years. So when he passed away, he like left this weird kind of treasure map for my mom when she showed up at his mobile home to find this money, which by the way, they don't leave a treasure map for the money was in a black trash bag. Like it's like it wasn't even that well hidden. It was just in a black trash bag in back of a bunch of junk and he had a bunch of money in it. And I'm like, that's fucking Irish people for you.
That's hilarious.
But my mom found it and she was like, okay, well there's probably like 10 grand in bills, right?
Nice.
And so she took a bunch of the fives and she split it between myself and Rachel when we went up to hang out with them in Long Beach earlier this year.
Yeah.
So, we show up and I get this nice suit jacket from my grandpa and I get like $500 in cash, which I'm like, okay, cool. And I really love my grandpa and I'm trying to honor his memory. I'm like, I'm not going to go spend this cash on like, I'm not going to go buy pot. I'm not going to buy booze with it. I'm not going to buy a dinner out. I'm going to buy something that, will be with me for a long time. That'll have meaning that I like.
That. I like that.
And so I bought these boots because I'm a big boot guy, and these are Timberland Pros, and the really nice thing about them, other than how heavy they are, and I like a heavy boot because they last a little bit longer. Is the soles are really thick on them, and the soles are actually they're waterproof to an extent, but they're actually like millwright boots. So they're preventative to like getting electroshock through your feet.
Cool.
Which is really cool because you live in Portland. It's wet all the time, and you never really know when something could hit the ground. And it's like a weird thing to be, paranoid about. But I realized the value in it then. Plus, they're just good all around heavy ass boots that don't get wet. Yeah, they look like
they can be resold.
Yeah, they can.
Got like a Goodyear welt.
Yeah, the ones I'm wearing right now actually I got resold. So these are also Timberlands. They're much messier. I can show the camera. There you go.
Okay.
But these are Timberland Earth Keepers, which funnily enough, a guy in the scene, Ross Pasick, he used to work at the Timberland shop in town, and I was talking to him about this. Like, gosh, it had to be a year and a half ago. But I think he said this is one of his favorite pair of boots too. And I get it. This is traditionally like a hiking boot is what it's sold as, and that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
but it's when it comes with the original sole, because I got these soles, these Teva soles put in, that actually they're not Teva, they're Keen soles, and these are more for like hiking and gripping rocks. But this pair of boots is really stylish when you buy it like fresh out of the box. It's a 6-inch boot. It's really nice and glossy when it comes out. It's all leather top sole, so I mean it's really nice. It's really comfy and it looks good with the pair of jeans.
Yeah, it's a boot you can wear.
Yeah, I'm not much of a shorts guy. you know?
Me either.
So
No.
like I need a pair of shoes that doesn't make me look like a jackass when I'm wearing jeans. And I don't have like, I mean, like you're a skinnier dude, you've got like a good frame. I'm a thick guy. So when I wear like thick shoes, like a pair of Nikes or like a pair of Adidas that are meant to be like kind of stylish, I just look like I am a tree trunk from the ankle on up to my waist. It just, there's no,
because the shoe's like too small.
Yeah, and
you kind of need a bulkier shoes.
or too big, because if it's so bulky, like with the type of jeans I have to wear, it'll just look like there's no definition to my legs.
There's no skinny jeans.
Yeah, and I'm
in
not
your world.
I'm not like a fancy bitch or anything, but like I do want to look good when I'm out in public and feel comfortable.
I am a fancy bitch, but like
there you go. At least one of us is.
Yeah, I wore my boots today.
Yeah, these are nice, man. What are these?
These are Viberg.
Viberg.
They're made up in Victoria, BC.
Okay, damn, that's fancy.
They are fancy. They're stupidly expensive.
I think these were made in Taiwan, so you know.
Nice. Yeah, these are made out of kudu leather.
Kudu. Oh, okay. So I actually know what a kudu is.
Twirly horned antelope from Africa.
They're like, wait, hold on a minute, because they're really small, aren't they?
No, they're not.
Kudu?
They're close to the size of an elk.
Okay, wait a minute.
They're bigger than a deer, but smaller than an elk.
I was thinking of the poodoo. There's something that's a poodoo. I'm not even fucking around with you. If I remember this correctly, because I saw it on Planet Earth, there's a poodoo that is
I'm
like,
gonna Google that right now.
Yeah, I think it's a poodoo, like Pudu, and it's like a super miniature version of, I guess, like a deer or an elk or something like that.
Deer.
Yeah. It's super small.
There is. Oh, it's cute.
Yeah, and it's mad cute, and it lives on this island that everything there.
Cute little bastard.
Yeah, look at that. And it lives on this island where like everything on this island is smaller for one reason or another. It's like miniature versions of everything.
It's South American somewhere.
Yeah, so I think maybe like Chile or something like that.
Some island down there has
but
there's
it's
some weird little species of like deer and antelope.
Oh, dude, absolutely. And then like you go to Hawaii, right? I mean, you're a hunter, so you probably already heard of this. There's like axis deer.
Yeah, those
all over that island.
Yeah, I think that it's on a few of them. What happened is like they were a gift from somebody in India. To like the king of Hawaii, like 100 and some years ago.
Gift that keeps on giving.
And it kept giving because there's nothing to eat them over there. So the fucking things just overpopulate.
That's gotta be so crazy. I mean, I've thought about that before. Like you live on an island where whatever gets on that island and can
just
repopulate
thrives.
Quickly. Yeah, what are you gonna do?
That's the problem with Hawaii. My uncle used to live over there, so I've been over there a couple times, and he was really into like science and nature and stuff. And I like that stuff too. And so I was asking him questions. He's like, yeah, literally anything comes here. It's like, well, this is the best place. Fucking, yeah.
Gonna proliferate here.
Yeah, like nothing does poorly in Hawaii.
Yeah, and that's gotta be almost nerve-wracking in a way, because like what if somebody brings like a poisonous frog over? I mean, there's
It'll
probably
do great.
Yeah, and granted, I don't know, but there's probably poisonous frogs there already.
Half the stuff there is invasive.
Yeah.
Like half the plants,
and it's
more
all
than
beautiful.
half the birds.
It's all
like
gorgeous.
nice shit. People were like, yeah, look at this. This is a pretty plant. Let's plant thousands of these.
The invasive stuff we have here is like ivy and people from
Yeah,
California. Like that's what we have. It's like they're both ugly things that grow up the side of buildings, and you're just like, oh man, like we could do better than this, right?
You would think so, but you know.
That's great, because I know that wherever you go in Oregon, there's always like these signs about invasive species that are there, and it's like what to watch for. And it seems like half these signs are saying like, if you see this, rip it the fuck out. Like that's what they want you to do. They're like, just to let you know, these are invasive species. You know, these are not welcome in this area necessarily, but we don't know how they got here. And nothing on the sign says don't destroy these plants. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm doing a little.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So tell me more about these. So they're from Victoria, BC.
Victoria, BC. They're a stitch down construction. So the upper, instead of being a Goodyear welt where they like put another piece of leather, it's kind of like it's stitched. The upper goes and is stitched to the second piece of leather, like on the inside, and then that's stitched to the sole. This just kind of folds right out.
And it's a nice cap toe too.
It
That's
is.
Nice.
Yeah, and yeah, they're cool. They're expensive.
Okay, I'm gonna guess how much you spent on them.
Yeah.
Based on what I'm seeing right now, those are actually really nice laces. So I feel like you can tack on about $30 to the cost just for the laces. I'd say you spent about $320 on those. Higher than that, damn.
By a lot.
Okay, so did you spend over $500? Jesus Christ, man. See, I don't know.
This is my most expensive pair of shoes by a very wide margin.
Wow. Okay. So
$745.
Damn.
Yeah.
So why would you spend now for somebody who, I mean, obviously this podcast isn't a lot about boots from what I've noticed.
The episode we did about these actually has like a shitload of views because there's not a lot of information about these out there.
Yeah, those are nice, man.
Yeah, I'm stoked on them. So basically I wanted like this style of boot.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just started reading all about it. And the more like down the rabbit hole I got, this brand and this shape, like this last that they used, kept coming up as like everybody's grail. Everybody's like, eventually that's the one I want.
That is nice because as somebody who looks at boots a lot, and I have a couple pairs of dress boots and they're all right. I mean, like none of them are really that expensive, but I've always avoided the cap toe. But that looks like a really nice cap toe.
I've always not been a huge fan of it, but then like I went to the shop. I got these in Seattle at a shop called Division Road. That's the only place that sells these in the Northwest. And this is one of their exclusive styles. It's so fucking pretentious. But like
in a good way. I mean, but dude, if you like what you like, you know?
Yeah, and they hurt my feet so much for so long.
Oh yeah, because we wanted to talk about breaking in boots,
yeah,
man.
these ones are finally kind of broken in. I've had them for over 2 years. Like
yeah.
They really took a long time to break in.
The ones I'm wearing on my feet right now, they took probably about 1.5 years to fully break in because, at least with these, like, because I think what is that? Is that a 6-inch?
I think it's like a
close to
4
it, if
to
not
5 inch. Really, it's not super high.
Yes, because mine's about an inch above, like inch and a half above my ankle, and
yeah, it's kind of you can see like the ankle knob is right there, so it's not.
The footbed on boots like this works in so much quicker, obviously, because your feet expand and contrast throughout the day with the amount of water you have, blah, 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 blah. So the amount of steam that works up in a leather boot, plus the fact that your feet are kind of like ballooning in and out, works out the footbed quicker. But the hardest part was the ankle part, because I have kind of skinny ankles. And so, you know, I'd be wearing these for a couple hours driving, and then my ankles would feel like they're just like so raw and like suffocated. And it took so long to work out the ankle part.
These have a heel counter back here that's like a hardened leather.
Oh.
And that took forever to break in.
Man, that sounds so rough.
It was pretty rough. And then yeah, it's just a leather. The sole is just stacked leather with a steel shank. And then this day-night rubber sole.
See that? So that's classified more as like a dress boot, right?
It is.
Okay,
yeah.
Definitely.
It's like, I think that the silhouette is like the Canadian military officer's shoe or some bullshit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh la la.
I know. So
my
fancy.
goodness.
It's from Victoria. I should drink tea.
Man, if I see a guy riding a horse with a pair of those on, I might reconsider, you know, how I swing. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
It's
I
just
mean,
like,
it's a good looking boot.
Guy comes up to you on a beach on a black stallion wearing a pair of those and like a nice tight pair of white pants. You fuck that guy. I don't care who
Probably
you are.
do. Yeah, I think that's that's the rules.
That's the story of how Nick got his boots, actually.
Yeah, exactly. That's a guy rolled up and he's like, "Hey, do you like these boots? How much do you like these boots?" And I was like, "Yeah, I like them a lot."
Did he say boots like boots, or did he say like boots? You know, like
he said it like that. Yeah,
a little bit of a boot there.
I didn't want to culturally appropriate.
Oh, too bad. Now that's what this podcast is all about. Now,
yeah, that's why we have toxic white males. This is the toxic episode.
Okay, if you title it that's gonna be. I'm okay
the toxic
with that.
Episode.
The toxic boots episode of this podcast.
That's actually pretty hilarious. We might.
I wouldn't complain as long as Bjorn's good with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely leave it up to him. Probably.
Yeah, gotta give him a say in this, because I don't know if Bjorn wants us to be too toxic, but you know.
No, I mean we'll just be accidentally toxic. Yeah.
Which is the best way to go about it. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's got to be organic.
What's the biggest disappointment as far as a shoe purchase that you've ever made?
Ooh.
So like you were maybe really hyped on something, right? And then you got them and you're like, ugh. Or like you got the wrong thing or something like that.
Yeah. Honestly, there was some of that with these. The sizing on these is fucking weird as shit.
Interesting.
And I think I went a little too small, which is part of why it took so long to break them in. And it was one of those things that I didn't really know until I'd owned them for like a month, and then the ship has sailed. And it's so much money. And like I went there specifically because I'd never really had a pair of shoes like this. I was like, I want to get fitted. And they took their best shot at it, but it was like, you know, it's kind of like a live and learn type of thing, but it's so expensive that it was like, oh, God damn it.
That's an expensive lesson when you're living and learning.
So I've got like a stretcher that I use to like try to get these things to break in more.
Yeah, I've done a few
shoe
trippy
trees
things
in them and all that stuff.
Hell, dude, I've taken just balls and balls of newspaper and I've just shoved them in shoes before to get them to expand quicker overnight, and just did that for like a period of 3 days. But I mean, yeah, dude, I completely understand, because like with the boots that I wear, I mean, admittedly, these are a little big for my feet. Typically, I need to wear thick socks in order to get them to fit just a bit better.
Boot sizing is fucking weird. It's different than like shoe sizing.
They should have quarter sizes for boots, whereas like with, because everything's like half size, full size, and then it's like I think you should have like at least an in between of like 3/4 size for a boot, because what'll happen is you'll buy a pair of boots, right, and they'll be maybe a little tight on your feet, but by the time they're broken in, you're sliding in them.
Exactly, and that's why I didn't want to go too big on these. Like, that's why I bought the size I did. Like, we talked it all through at the shop, and I tried on the whole size run basically, and they're like, we think you should go with these, you know, and they might be right. These still have like probably time to break in. Like I said, they're 2 years old, but one of them was the pandemic. So I wore them like 4 times.
Exactly. And see, that's pretty much all I wear on my feet anymore is my boots. And my girlfriend gets pissed because I end up tracking mud in the house and everything. But that's the biggest gripe. It's like when I first wore a pair of boots that I liked, they were Clarks. And they weren't, I mean, obviously Clarks are more of like a dressy kind of casual boot.
I had a pair of desert boots. Those are awesome. And I love the desert
That's what I bought, because I used to work at a Famous Footwear in college for a little bit. So like the high-end casual male dress boot that would come in was always a Clarks. It was nothing better than that. It was nothing worse than that, though. It was always Clarks. So I would buy Clarks with like my 20% discount from work. And I really I fell in love with them for a while. I bought multiple pairs, and then I realized that there's so little cushion in a pair of like average Clarks that my feet, especially when you're walking long distances.
You can't walk in those desert boots with like the crepe sole or whatever, that like gum rubber.
And
that shit, it's just flat.
There's
and fucking
it hurts.
There.
It feels like you're walking on a plank of wood. And so that's why I graduated from that to like an actual work boot or a hiking boot, because I'm like, okay, these things are built to last and not hurt my feet. They're meant to be worked in, and Clarks are meant to, you look good and you're going to be in them for a night, and you're going to wake up in the morning, your feet are going to be sore, and you're not going to wear them for another week.
They're kind of like a go to the office or go to the bar type of shoe. They're not really
definitely.
They're not for anything practical.
Don't wear them in a dive bar though, you know.
I've worn Clarks in a dive bar.
Sticky surfaces, man.
Yeah, they do. They stick to everything.
They stick to everything. But yeah,
definitely
from
pointed
Clarks.
out the flaws in the bathroom of those bars.
Yeah, just speaking of the bathroom,
gross.
I made a spider friend when I was in your bathroom.
Did you?
Yeah, I mean, a little tiny guy.
I mean, it is a basement down here. It's what it is.
It looked like he was feeling really good.
Was he feeling good about himself?
Yeah, I had a conversation with him. It was really weird. He had a deep voice, and
that's what traffic will do to you. You start talking to bugs.
Start talking to anything.
I know it's an arachnid, but like bugs kind of rolled off the tongue better.
Dude,
still a comedy podcast.
Spiders are up in everything though right now. Like I brought in one of my houseplants today after just letting it.
And there's a damn spider in it.
There's 2 spiders in it.
I'm not a spider person. I don't like them. I kind of do one of them.
See, I don't like them. I also don't like to kill them. A lot of people's instinct immediately when they see one is like, I'm gonna eliminate this threat by just smashing it.
I've been guilty of that.
Yeah, and so have I, because sometimes, and the sad part is that a lot of times I feel like I do it because it's more convenient than trying to find a way to get the spider securely into something and then like move it out, you know, and like put it outside.
It's a lot of effort.
It's a lot of effort, and then ultimately you're like, this thing could jump and then bite me, and I'm gonna lose an arm. Who knows? And
it's
I'm like,
I saw one picture on the internet of like a brown recluse bite, and it looked pretty bad, and I was like, well, I guess spiders just get to die now.
Dude, the crazy thing is we have hobo spiders in this part of the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, do we? And those will fuck you up, right?
Those will fuck you. So like they most adults, they won't kill with a bite. I mean, you'll get inflammation and like probably a lot of pus, and it'll be gross. But a kid under the age of 5, depending on the strength of their immune system, a hobo spider bite can kill them.
Jesus
and
Christ.
So because it's like you're not fully developed as a human. You don't have all the things you need to fight off like poison in your system to that degree.
Fuck.
And we have them all around our apartment complex, and like my neighbors have 3 kids, 2 of which are probably still at a susceptible age, and I'm just like, that's horrifying, because this is the time of year where they move in.
That's the crazy shit. That's like, I hate thinking about that stuff where it's like, wait, death is around every corner.
It really is.
Damn spiders are like, climbing around killing kids.
I go out to water my plants at night right now because of how hot it is.
It's amazing that like more people don't actually get bit by those? If they're all around, like how is that not like an epidemic?
Well, in a way, it is, depending on where you are.
Are people getting bit by those things all the time?
By hobos? Yeah. I would say probably not. I don't feel like it's a very common occurrence, but when here's the thing, a lot of people don't realize is like, so a lot of folks here live in apartments, and depending on how old your apartment is and how the infrastructure is, like those things could be living in the walls basically, and they're not really getting in unless it's through vents or something like that. But you could be going in to deep clean your house, or like for me, I go outside at night to garden, not garden, but to water my garden right now, because it's so hot that I don't want to burn my plants. And there's hobo spiders, like not all over the ground, but you shine a light sometimes randomly and there'd be a big ass hobo spider just chilling like right where you were about to walk. And so, you know, it's scary because you could be walking around aimlessly with a pair of flip-flops on trying to water your garden, and then one of these things scurries up your legs, bites you. And yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a pandemic of getting bit, but it's definitely something that like I'm worried about.
Yeah. At bare minimum, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, dude. It's
literally.
And you live in an apartment, it's like really close quarters and all this stuff. And so, you know, if your neighbors aren't clean, they got piles of shit sitting on their porch, which is, you know, spiders are attracted to that.
Yeah.
They're going to propel down. They're going to go into your screen door. I have 3 cats, so they like to scratch at the screen door and they leave holes in it. Excuse me. They leave holes in it that are just about big enough for a spider to sneak in. So if we just leave our screen door open, we could have spiders in the house.
Yeah, it's no good.
And my girlfriend's one of the killers. You know, she'll just like, it's like, do you want me to suck it up with the vacuum? And I'm like, yeah, actually, I do.
Yeah,
kill that fucking thing.
Kind of hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know.
What
I don't know how we got on
crazy way to die as a
spiders.
spider.
Yeah,
I don't know, but that's the beauty of podcasts is you just start talking about fucking spiders for 10 minutes for out of nowhere.
If you had to choose between, okay, now here's an existential question.
Okay.
So the ways in which I'm most commonly dispose of spiders is we have a hand vac that will suck them up with. And so they basically get stuck in the hand vac without exit or like real oxygen until they die.
Yeah.
Or like if we find them in our tub, we drown them with water and then they'll go down the drain and say la vie.
Yeah.
If you had to die one of those 2 ways, which one are you choosing?
Ways. I think I would, and this is assuming that the vacuum or tub is scaled so that I'm the size of a spider.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So if you were the spider, just you're Nick Scalzone as well. Nick Scalzone the spider. How would you choose to go?
I feel like I might go with the vacuum.
Okay.
Because I think there's more opportunity for me to bounce really hard off of something hard, and it just knocks you silly, and you're just like
you're just done.
Yeah, I think there's more opportunity for like a KO.
Yeah, there you go.
Because the other one is drowning, which is a bummer, and there's not.
Yeah.
I don't think the velocity's high enough.
Yeah.
You know, with the suction of a vacuum, as long as it's heavy enough, you're gonna get like bounced off of like a wall and slammed into something else. You might have to go through one of them spinny things and that'll fuck you up.
That like multiple forms of death before you actually die. I think there's more
chances that you die fast in the vacuum.
Yeah, okay. It's like more of a gauntlet in the vacuum.
Yeah, it's like a Rube Goldberg machine of like death. Whereas fucking the tub is just drowning. Like you just get shoved down a pipe and then just waterboarded till you die.
Yeah, and
that's rough.
Or like conversely, like I don't know how all the pipes work, right? So you've been on a water slide.
I have.
So imagine being on a water slide perpetually going downward in utter blackness for who knows how long until you hit sludge. Yeah. And then
you die in a pile of shit.
That's how you die.
That's way worse.
Yeah. Hopefully not too many people are shitting in the drains of their bathtub, but I know I do.
Eventually it gets to the city sewer.
Oh yeah, eventually it gets there. Yeah. Eventually like it's entigered somewhere just stewing. Yeah. It comes out on a hot day.
It's got to be something gross in there.
Oh my God.
Some chemicals probably burn your eyes. Be a fucking pain in the ass.
Oh, but you know, they deserve it for being that creepy. Let's be honest. Fuck them.
8 is too many legs.
Another proof that God doesn't exist. How could you make a creature that looks like that? That's not fair.
Yeah, no, that's the devil.
It's also like a small land crab in a way. Like it's kind of, if you look at the way crabs move and the way they look and kind of the antennae and just the weird eyes, I mean, they're not unlike spiders completely. No, they're also not similar.
Yeah, but they got some similarities. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I hate crabs just as much as I hate spiders.
Eat crabs. I don't think I'd eat a spider.
Okay, so there's like the Brazilian wandering spider, right? Which is like actually a pretty big one.
Is that one of those big tarantulas that's like this big and
I
eats
think
birds
so.
or some shit?
Yeah, I think so. I bet there's some meat on that.
There probably is.
Oh God,
I don't know how you cook it.
just thinking about it. Like, yeah, how
Do you cook it like a crab? You put it in the pot and let it suffer?
Just lemon and butter. You like pick out the hairs first, baby.
Oh, gross.
Oh,
yeah, no,
my
fuck all that. No,
Bjorn, I'm sorry.
I'm staying in the northern hemisphere. I don't need that big ass spider.
Dude, oh man.
Okay, so here's something that comes up on the pod a lot is cars and trucks.
Oh yeah.
I know you're a truck guy.
I am a truck guy.
The listeners have heard about my truck more than they wanted to hear.
More than they expected.
But yeah, you're a truck guy and you've kept your truck the way truck guys do. Like, you've had your truck for a long time.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of miles.
Ride it till it dies, more or less. And so, yeah, I drive a Ford F-150, a 2002 Ford F-150, short cab, which is probably the bane of my existence because
it's like the short bed crew cab.
It's the short bus of the truck world, is what it is. Like, you just drive it around and you see some guy in like an F-150 that was made like 5 years later, and it's got the extended bed, and you're just like, oh, that's so nice. It's like I would sacrifice the back seat and being able to have friends in my truck for an extra 5 inches of bed space. But yeah, no, I do have a truck. Last time I checked, because the odometer doesn't always work, she was at about 315,000 miles.
That's insane.
Which
That's truck guy shit though.
Original transmission and the original engine. The only thing that's had to get changed ultimately is tires, brakes, and then there was a couple ball joints that were really fucked up after a while of just so much driving. And
yeah, eventually that stuff just wears out.
Exactly. So there's parts that are like wearing out on the truck, and I can feel it, but I would say it's still got another year or two left on it before I need to cash it in just for safety purposes. And when I say cash it in, I'm not getting any money for that truck. I'm going to probably just drive it off a cliff is what I should do, because like that's at this point, it's almost like a sadist type of relationship with my truck where I'm like, I'm going to drive you till you die. And like, I'm not going to give you to some other kid to fucking, get 50,000 miles out of you and then it just stalls on the highway. Like, no, I'm going to drive you till you burn into the ground. And then I'm going to call AAA and be like, well, hey, I'm in the middle of the desert. Guess you have to come and get me. But no, I love that truck. I have to be a truck guy because I'm like 230 some odd pounds and I'm 6 feet tall and I'm all leg.
Yeah, and you don't fit in the Corolla.
I don't fit in most mid-sized vehicles comfortably unless the seats move back like so much. And then at that point, like I don't have T-Rex arms, but I don't have super long arms. I've got average arm length. So if I go too far back, then I'm like kind of clawing, at the steering wheel like this, just so I can sit back and have leg room. And it's just not a way to drive. So a truck I found is the only thing I'm comfortable in.
Yeah, trucks and SUVs just kind of have that
space, man.
I don't know if mine's a Tacoma. I don't know. Have you driven the Tacomas?
I have not.
Because I remember when I got it, you were like, you kind of like the Tacoma too.
Yeah, I had a little bit of a hard-on for your truck when I first saw it.
I mean, this is a sexy truck.
Well, and when I see Tacomas on the road, even the older models, like I like the design of the Tacoma more than I like the design of a Ford, because most Fords are like they don't look clunky necessarily, but they're very bricky, and they look wide even when they're the same width as another vehicle. They just look a little bit more dumpy.
I do like the newer F-150s. I think the newest 2 generations are like pretty sexy trucks.
Yeah, and they're doing pretty good.
I'm not a fan of the Ranger or the Colorado, that kind of like car-like profile.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
I'm not into that, where it's like way higher in the back than it is in the front.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I like about the Tacoma is that it looks like a truck, but it's like the slim fit dress shirt of trucks.
Yeah, I think they just took a truck and then they did a scale model. They just scaled it down a little bit.
Yeah, cut it out just a little bit and thinned it up. Like, and man, I want to drive a Tacoma so bad. In fact, like if in all likelihood, because I mean I don't make a bunch of money, right? So I'm not going to be able to buy a car new. I'd be able to afford it, but I don't want a car because I'm never going to be comfortable or feel comfortable in it. So it's a horrible investment. If I do get a truck, I can't afford a new truck necessarily. So I'm probably going to buy used. Tacomas have the best resale value of any truck.
Dude, mine still, as far as I know, has appreciated since I bought it.
Which is insane.
It's mostly because the fucking market is insane right now on trucks. But yeah, I'm never going to be upside down in that loan. Like if at some point I just need to pull the plug,
Yep.
I can just sell it and make all my money back.
Yep.
And it'll be great.
And you probably end up selling it to me, to be honest with you.
I might.
Another nice truck. So my mom has a GMC Sierra from like, I don't know, it's probably like a 2000, I'm gonna say like 2010, 2011,
Okay.
whatever.
No, I like the Sierra. I like the Sierra over the Silverado. I think it looks better. It's otherwise the same truck.
It's pretty nice. My mom drives like a fucking maniac. So I feel like I'm a little bit, because I'm not much of a safe driver. My girlfriend will tell you that. Like I get a little crazy sometimes, but I'm never endangering somebody.
Yeah.
And sorry, Mom, she's probably never gonna listen to this, but my mom endangers people on the road, and she drives a big ass truck, and she's a small woman, so she's like Napoleon behind like a freaking chariot with arrows coming out of it, and she's just like, she'll get pissed off at somebody in traffic, and then she will pull within like 2 inches of them going 55 miles an hour, and if that person hits the brakes,
in her GMC
we're
Sierra,
all dead. Yeah, and it's a big black GMC Sierra that's slightly lifted, right? And it's like murdered out windows, and so she's just like coming up on you, looking like she drives the pace car for the Lesbian Army of Darkness, and she's just like. And then like there's these little people in a Corolla that are terrified and trying to get out of the way. She's just cursing them. She's just like, get out of the fucking way. And
they're looking in the mirror like, hey, we voted for Joe Biden. We thought this was gonna end.
And then my mom's like, I voted for Trump. Get out of the way. No. Oh God, no, she didn't. But that's yeah. So I like the Sierra, but it honestly, you can hear my poor mom.
I love the idea your mom's just tailgating them, just
Jesus.
Like, how do you want 2024 to go down there?
It's like, you're on a highway to hell now, bitch. No, it's
however you want me to vote. Pull to the opposite direction.
Get out of my
I'm
way.
I'm saying pull to the right.
Oh man.
Or I'm a vote to the right.
No, it's yeah. But anyway, back to the truck thing. This has got maybe another year or two, and I know it's at the end of its rope. Like sometimes I'm starting to crank the steering wheel, and there's a couple pops here and there, and I'm just like, all right, like I know you're getting old, and it's 315,000.
So many miles, dude. That's dedication. How many did it have when you got it?
When I got it, so I got it from my mom, but not from the mom that drives like a mad woman, but from my other mom, because when I went to college, I had a Subaru Loyale station wagon.
Fuck yes.
Oh, and
that's the one with the manual 4-wheel drive, right? The selectable 4-wheel drive.
Yep.
Did that one? Could you lift that one? Was that the one that had the adjustable height suspension?
It might have. I don't know, because I was a high school kid and I wasn't super into vehicles at the time. Okay. So I'm not like looking at what I can do to customize the thing. I'm like, it was $3,500 from a used car dealership, and my parents are like, this sounds like a great investment. Thing died in a year.
Stick shift?
No. It was an automatic transmission. So, but it was a cute little car, and like it got me from A to B, and you know what, I was comfortable in it, and I started smoking weed in that car.
There you
so
go.
it's like, a real homecoming type of vehicle.
Yeah.
But that thing kicked a bucket on me so quick, and then I was in college in Corvallis going to OSU, and relatively speaking, that's a small town. So you know one person with a car, and you can get pretty much all your stuff done if you just tag along, like for grocery shopping or something like that. Other than that, public transit would take you everywhere, or you could walk to wherever you needed to go. And I live close to campus, so I was like, okay, I don't need a vehicle. Yeah. As soon as I graduated college, I'm like, I start my first job, my first internship out of college, and I was like, I need to not be on the bus. Like, I'm wearing a suit and tie and dress boots, and I'm on the fucking bus, and like, I don't want to be. So my mom was looking to get a new vehicle and downsize from the truck, and she, for like $2,500, I paid her off in like payments, and I got the truck from her. And at the time, I think it had, I want to say maybe like between 125 and 150,000 miles. Okay. Maybe a little bit less.
So you've still driven the hell out of that thing.
Oh, absolutely.
You still put like 180K on there.
Easy. Because I'm a road trip guy. I love going on road trips. And so, I'll drive to Eastern Oregon and back in 4 days. And that's like an 8-hour drive a day. You're going, there and back, at least depending on side roads and little turnoffs, it's like 1,000 miles round trip. I've done that twice, 3 times a year, every year for the last 10 years.
I just went to Montana like for a couple of weeks, and it's I put 2,900 miles on the truck in that trip.
Dang.
Well, because it was like 800 or 700 and something to get to my folks' house. And then I went across to the other side of the state to visit my buddy, and that was another 600 miles each way.
That's what I want a newer vehicle for, is so that I could do that confidently. Because in this truck, if I were to be like, I'm driving to Montana, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, I should not be driving to Montana.
Yeah, that was part of why I bought it when I did. I knew that trip was coming up, and my old Subaru was just... It kept having little issues, and then it had the head gasket thing, and I put a bunch of money into that, and I was like, okay... I don't want to dump another fucking penny in this car. $4,000 for a repair. That's so much money.
Yeah.
So I kept it another like year and a half after that, but then I unloaded it. I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
Good car, but like I just was like kind of ready for something new. Something that had a warranty.
Oh, I'm ready for something that has... I think you guys have talked about this on a previous podcast, but like I need something with the backup camera. And
the backup camera is a game changer.
And I don't have like my...
Especially with the truck.
Yeah.
Because they're so long. Like the bed, it's like... You could drive it as much as you want. It's really hard to tell when it's that far back there, like exactly where that is.
It's a miracle that I have not destroyed more people's cars by way of trying to parallel park in this city. I mean, so it's either a testament to how good of a driver I am, but you want to know what's clutch as a truck driver in this city is the amount of places that you're parking street side and they have all glass windows.
And you can look,
dude, and you can look in the window and be like, yeah, I'm fucking sexy. There you go. I'm like 2 inches in there. Like you're going to make an Oreo sandwich out of this little Corolla that's between you and like a Jeep Renegade or something, right? But man, are you going to parallel park?
What do you think of the Renegade?
I think
what is that thing? The Gladiator.
The Gladiator?
The Jeep truck.
I think it is probably it's ugly. I don't like it.
Yeah, it
looks really dumb.
It doesn't look right.
It doesn't look right, and it looks like it's for people who don't believe in equality between the races. I think is more like that's how I feel. Like you're gonna buy that and you're like, I need to be able to mount a machine gun on the back of my vehicle contently and not have to get out of my vehicle to reach it. That's what it feels like. And like you see him driving, and again to the whole big bulky kind of, it looks like an Autobot.
It definitely seems like something you buy more for the image than for the for the utility.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how I feel about all Jeeps, right?
That is a little bit how Jeeps are.
Well, because if you think about the history of Jeeps were made as simple army transport and like occasionally armored transport during the wars. So it's like they weren't meant to be like a consumer vehicle. They were meant to be a utility vehicle that was cheap as shit. And if it blew up, you're not losing a lot of taxpayer money on that one Jeep. It was like really thin and it was just utility, period. And then you try to market this to consumers and like women think it's cute as shit. Women love Jeeps, like the old school Jeeps more. But they're like, I think I want a Jeep. And I'm like,
there's a lot of girls that you talk to and they're like, oh, I'd love to have a Wrangler. It's like, I don't think you would. I don't think anybody actually likes those. Like Jeep guys who rock crawl, I think they like them.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I think it's just the image. I've heard they're just fucking horrific to drive.
Yeah, and it doesn't look good. This has gotten, this is the most toxic masculine podcast I think we could have had, but
we're
in a good way.
We're shitting on Jeep guys. Yeah.
We're shitting on Jeep guys.
No, I think we're
we
making
kill spiders.
Yeah, we're murdering spiders, wearing boots. Yeah, no, this is great. We're bringing some solid male energy to this podcast.
And Bjorn brings some pretty solid male energy too. Not to knock on Bjorn, but
no, I'm not trying to knock on Bjorn.
We needed to spice it up a little bit more, and I get it because I think one of the last episodes I was listening to was he was like, we need to change a pace or something, and not a change of pace, but he was like he's trying to get out of a routine or something. You guys like switch chairs, or whatever
we did
it
switch
was.
chairs.
Yeah, imagine switching from Bjorn to this, where I kind of look like Bjorn if he let himself go, like even more.
You guys do have a similar look.
A little bit.
Same beard
Yep.
for
we
sure.
both have glasses when I'm feeling comfortable enough to wear them.
Fair enough.
I don't wear my normal tattoos. That's true. I have vegetable tattoos.
I think you probably are a perfect candidate for Bjorn's underwear company.
Yeah.
I think you have some of his underwear.
I
don't
do.
you?
Okay, so shout out. I will shout out Bearskin.
Yeah, Bearskin's fantastic.
Yo, so Bjorn, I hope you actually listen to this because I told you after I put them on that I was going to buy more. I literally think every day about how I need to buy more underwear, and then I just don't from him. And it's because, honestly, dude, I will wash these underwear twice in a week so that I can wear a pair of them.
Oh, yeah.
They're the most comfortable underwear I've ever worn.
I wear them almost exclusively now.
my
I have
God.
enough pairs that I usually can just rotate through only those.
As a thick guy, too, it's a lifesaver because every pair of underwear I've worn for a decade scrunch up if I walk too much in them because of my thick ass thighs, and like those things are freaking perfect. So whoever listens to this, if you haven't bought Bearskin, glowing endorsement from a bear.
Scroll down in the YouTube. There's a promo code.
There you go, promo code.
Set, promo code size 10.
There we go.
There's just a link to it. You get 10% off.
Oh fuck yeah,
Yeah,
dude. I might have to use that promo code later because I'm a cheap ass too. Bro, I listened to the pod. You know, the guest you had was great. You know,
it was
really
fantastic.
No, but yeah, no, man, thinking about Jeeps, like I went through a phase, I think when I was like 10 or 12 where I really wanted one, and that's because I was watching a lot of G.I. Joe and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I think some people just never stopped watching it.
Yeah, and then it just, you see a lot when you go out to like Eastern Oregon or like kind of like those areas. There's a lot of people with Jeeps, but it's almost exclusively truck territory out there.
Well, it's one of those things that once I got to Tacoma, I started like reading forums about it. And I was like, okay, I think I get Jeep guys a little bit.
Yep.
Because there's something about just there being a community of people who are all wasting money on the same bullshit. And just being like, dude, what wheels are you putting on? And it's like, we just stick with the ones it came with. Honestly, they look better anyway. But like everybody's got to, buy the same thing and then write a paragraph about their review.
I fucking love this truck.
Dude, the fucking rocks that I drive over, man. The Fox, whatever shocks, dude, fucking absorbed the rocks better than the other shocks did.
That might be, you know what, and I want to bring something up, else up with you really quick, but I think one of the advantages to having a Jeep, and maybe my other biggest gripe about Portland related to the traffic, to kind of bring this whole thing full circle and do a little bit of a callback.
There you go.
The roads out here are god-awful.
They're not the best.
No, I mean, dude, they
9% state income tax, and these roads are fucking
They
trash.
are awful.
Tell
and
you
so
what.
part of the reason why my truck is going south quicker than it probably should is because of how many times I'll be going 55 miles an hour and literally hit a pothole, and a like 2-3 inch pothole in the ground.
Boom.
And you just go thunk, and you just like you can feel the truck go, hey man, like, and you're just like shit.
It's just like, ouch.
But the roads are so bad out here that having like a Jeep that's a little lifted with those thick ass like kind of off-road tires that they come with.
37s on there, you just fly over the potholes.
Yeah, it's not as impacted.
You get 7 miles to the gallon. But
So that's maybe the advantage to have a Jeep out here is like the city driving that you would normally do isn't as bad. But I mean, come on, man.
Honestly, let's. I don't know. I don't think the governor's listening, but if she is, 9% state income tax.
Yeah.
Fix the fucking roads.
The craziest part.
That's what I use.
Yes, and the craziest part.
if I just want to be an old Republican.
Yep.
The roads are what I use.
Yeah.
Why aren't the roads fixed?
I'm not going to the pot stores, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to Winco.
Where the fuck is my tax money going?
And while we're at it, what's with the chicken tenders at Winco? They're so small. Oh my god.
They used to be bigger.
So, one of the things I wanted to ask you about. So, where did you said you came from? Is it Dillard?
Dillon.
It's
the town I grew up in.
So it sounds like it's a smaller town.
It is.
Okay.
4,000 people.
Okay. Damn, that is a very small town.
Yeah.
So
it's America right there, bro.
I never realized it because I came from Los Angeles, right?
Yeah.
So nobody in LA really recognizes each other, even if you're in line at the same taco stand. Nobody really. I mean, they'll talk, but it's never like.
You don't see
friendly.
like the same people every day.
It's not super friendly, to say the least. So one of the things I noticed when I start driving out in like Southern Oregon or along the coast or in Eastern Oregon in a truck is when you're driving and people acknowledge you with the little wag of the finger over the steering wheel. Yeah. And it's almost exclusively truck drivers too. I've noticed like that's a thing, but you'll see it in like some other like SUVs and stuff. But you have your hand on the wheel and everybody they drive by, it's like, hello. And I've started doing it. Yeah. When I'm out on vacation, because
the truck guy waves. It's not even a truck guy thing. It's a small town thing.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. Because once you live in a town like that long enough, like a lot of people because they're the only ones there.
Yep.
And so you just kind of wave because you're like, I probably fucking know that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just see somebody driving. You're like, sometimes you'll see a vehicle and you'll just be like, oh yeah, it's Steve. What's up, Steve? I haven't talked to Steve in months. We really just bitch about his lawn care.
That's your relationship with Steve?
Yeah, it's like
the flick
talking
of the finger
shit behind his back, but then when you see him, you're just like, hey, Steve, how's it going?
Steve, good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you, Steve.
Steve, meanwhile, is like fucking your wife, and you know, and
or Steve is complaining about you to his wife. He's just like, this fucking asshole.
It's the lawn care wars at work,
this guy thinks he's so good with his lawn care over here.
This guy uses fucking Scots. What's wrong with him? It's all about Miracle-Gro.
With his Toyota fucking pussy foreign car. I drive a Chevy.
I drive a fucking Chevy.
He mows his lawn, but he's a fucking commie.
Yep.
I saw that Obama sign back in the day. I know how this guy feels.
Yep. And like that's the thing is like sometimes you don't know who you're acknowledging out there. Like a guy or a woman could have just like killed somebody.
No, you definitely
out in the wilderness.
If you're driving through a small town, you're waving at everybody.
You're
more
waving suspicious if you don't.
Yeah, first of all, yes. You're definitely waving at somebody who's got some beliefs that are like wild.
There's some skeletons in the closet that you're like inadvertently acknowledging.
Literal skeletons in the closet that you're acknowledging, or you're just like not worrying about it. You're just like, yeah, this guy believes some wild fucking shit, but like, you know, if we just talk about guns, it'll be fine.
Yeah, and that is the saving grace out there is like it could be a Scientologist versus like a Christian, and they'll get along about talking about guns.
Yeah, dude, literally, I got to tell you this. So when I was back in Montana, I went up to Fort Peck Lake, which is out in the middle of eastern Montana, to visit my buddy. And I took my 9mm so we could shoot it because it's a new toy and it's fun. So we go to the shooting range, we're shooting this, and there's this other guy like 30 yards down. He's shooting some crazy gun. It was a single shot pistol.
Oh my God.
And it was called a 445 Super Mag. They took a 44 Magnum and they made the case longer, basically. So it's just a hopped up 44 Magnum.
Oof. Single shot pistol.
And we went over, we were like, what the hell is that? Because it was making a racket.
Yeah.
And we were like, that's ridiculous. And the guy was like, oh, it's a 445 Super Mag, dude. It hurts to shoot. You guys want to shoot it?
It hurts to shoot this gun.
And it did. I shot it twice. Fucking hurt a lot.
Oh my God. Why would that... That's crazy.
This guy was so hyped on it. He's like, dude, you can only shoot like 3 or 4 because it starts to take the skin off your fingers when it kicks.
Can you imagine? Okay, so here's the crazy part about that. You and your friend, granted, you're both shooting guns, so you have like there's like a common ground between you and that other party. Imagine just being a hiker coming across that guy in the wilderness, and he's just like got a single shot pistol.
And he would do the same thing. He'd be like, hey guys, so I got this cool gun. It hurts to shoot. You want to shoot it?
You want to shoot it?
Here. There's a tree over there. Fucking shoot at that. You're not going to hit
it. My family and I, so both my parents love to shoot, but one of my moms in particular, like it's in... Actually, my grandfather taught her how to shoot, right? So she loves to shoot, has a bunch of guns. When I was a kid in Los Angeles, we would go out to this gun range in the San Francisco, I think, or San Francisco Canyon, whatever. It doesn't matter. But it was like a open air gun range that like you pay like a fee to enter for that day, and you bring all your own ammo and stuff, and they have like you know how a range works. Yeah. So, but they also had a cordoned off part of the range that had like one of those like the traffic like little things that go up and down when you're coming in and out of a parking garage. Okay. They had one of those that were covering like the entrance to this other path that went around a different part of the gun range. And I guess it was a part of the gun range where you could shoot specialty weapons. And so we go there one day, and we keep hearing this "Boo!" and then about 10 seconds later you hear thunk, and then "Boo!" thunk. Kind of like a mortar, right? Like it sounded really crazy, and I mean loud, dog. And it might have been like a half mile away to be safe, and you heard it like it was right behind you. And some dude had a cannon, a legit cannon.
I love it so much.
We asked the guy that was running the range that day, "What are they shooting over there? We don't feel safe." And he was like, "Don't worry, he's got a cannon and cannonballs." The guy had fucking cannonballs.
I love this guy.
And I'm just like, what is going on?
That's amazing.
And it was amazing, but also
I like the statement. Don't worry, he just has a cannon.
Yeah, it's just a cannon.
He's just pretending he's a pirate.
It's like
don't worry about it.
He needs a trailer to transport this weapon of mass destruction.
He just carted it over with a mule.
God.
It's got big wooden wheels on it.
That might have been the worst way to die back in the day.
Oh, taking a cannonball to the dome?
Or not even to the dome.
Cannonball to the dome is a good way to go.
That's instantaneous.
Because your head's just gone.
A cannonball that hits like right beneath your waist.
Yeah, like right in the gut. You take that... Yeah, where you... Yeah, that's a slow one.
Oh, it's slow and like you're like concave now.
Yeah,
and
just
like
the
broken.
nut shot with the cannonball. That's a rough one.
That was the worst part of watching The Patriot with Mel Gibson as a kid. Is like
watching people take a cannonball.
Dude, they'd have the cannonball scenes where they're just like taking off dudes' legs, and you're like,
Jesus Christ.
Oh, Manischewitz. Yeah, that's I don't know what part you wanted to end on, but maybe not cannonballs killing people.
No, but I do like the gun talk because Bjorn's not really into guns. Like we try to bring it up, but he's not really a gun guy.
I like shooting them. So it's weird. I'm not legal. I'm pretty damn close to legally blind in my right eye.
Okay.
It's part of the reason why I need corrective lenses. And even though I'm not wearing my glasses right now, like I can focus pretty well, but for much longer than an hour, I'll start to get a headache and things will get out of focus.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because I'm nearsighted and farsighted.
Oh
and
shit! So like one of your eyes is seeing one thing, and
exactly.
the other one
It's really strange.
So are you right or left eye dominant?
So I am for shooting. I'm left eye dominant.
Okay, so you got to shoot lefty guns.
I shoot lefty guns, but I'm right-handed. So I always shoot like this because that's my good eye versus this being my bad eye. And so I mean it's crazy when it comes to shooting. It's like now when I'm holding a handgun, obviously it's my right hand and I just have to kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
But I'm a surprisingly good shot for somebody whose eyes aren't really great, and I got a good feel for it.
Have you hunted at all or not? Because we've talked about hunting.
I want to badly, but I mean, so I don't own any of my own guns, which I think right now is smart because I live in an apartment.
Yeah.
Now I don't have any little kids with me.
Sure.
But my neighbors' kids are there. Sometimes we watch them. There's not a lot of really good places to hide a gun.
That's fair. So I do live in an apartment as well, but nobody's ever there except me.
And see, that's the thing.
I have guns.
And I've got Rachel with me, and God forbid I ever do something to piss her off, and she knows where the gun's at. I don't want to be in that situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so I don't have any in my house currently, but no, I shoot about 2 or 3 times a year. I either go with my mom or I go out and hang out with my buddy in Hood River, and there's a couple places around there you can just go shoot out in the wild.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of fun. But I really want to hunt. And
now, do you want to do like bird hunting or big game?
Oh, big game. Yeah, no, for sure. Big game. I mean, look, I've shot a couple birds with the 22. I've had my fun bird hunting at this point. You know,
bird hunting's fun.
And it is fun. And
waterfowl is awesome.
Yeah, that would be.
Upland is fun.
I would like to pop a couple ducks because I just don't like the U of O football team because go Beavs. So it's like that would be a really nice.
That's what you do. You'd
very
film
cathartic.
Film it for content. And as soon as a duck drops, you just be like, "Go Beavs!"
Yeah, pretty much go Beavs. But no, I would really like to go big game hunting because for me, there's a level more of like outdoorsmanship that's involved in that. Like I love the idea of trekking 3 or 4 miles and like kind of preparing the hunt and then finding something and then stalking it and then finally landing on a good shot and being able to take it out at a distance. I would prefer a gun instead of archery because I do want it to be relatively quick for me.
Yeah.
That's the selfish side of a hunter.
No, I mean I think that's responsible. I do think like a lot of people see bow hunting as like, you know, that's the way it used to be done. That's the most pure or some shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, but
they invented guns for a reason.
First of all, yes, and also like to get proficient enough with a bow to really consistently, cleanly kill something takes years and just consistent practice.
Whereas with a gun,
a gun, you should practice, but also you get a decent shot. It's kind of a wrap. Yeah. You know? It's a lot more ethical.
This is funny now that we're talking about this. So my cousin lives down on the southern Oregon coast, right? So there's a lot of deer, a lot of elk around there, especially after the fires. A bunch of stuff moved kind of more toward the coast.
And he's on the coast, so it's like the blacktails and the
blacktails,
Roosevelt elk.
Yeah, there's a lot, and like pretty good size, right? Like
the Roosevelt elk are the biggest, I think, in the lower 48 as far as body size.
Oh, really?
Rocky Mountain elk have the biggest antlers. That's why they're kind of the ones that people go for trophy. But the Roosevelt elk are bigger physically, so you'd get more meaty off a Roosevelt.
He he's very busy. Like he's a commercial fisherman, so like really any time that he can get out and
So this
fish,
dude's like a real man. He's fucking
dude. He's so much more of a man than I am. Like it's, and you know, he makes good money.
I know. I hear this. It's like he's a commercial fisherman. I'm like, I like fishing. I wear my sandals and go fly fishing.
Oh yeah, dude. He's like
cute.
going miles out and like where the great whites are and where the humpbacks are, and like
this guy's not fucking around.
No, and he's good at it too, and like he has a fleet of boats and he's got people that work for him. And so like that's really cool. Yeah, he's a really awesome dude, and like I said, much more of a man than I am. But like he's so busy that like his idea of hunting is not like, and he knows how to hunt.
Yeah, his idea is let's drive the forest roads. First thing that's legal to shoot, we see it, we shoot it
from the truck. You don't even get out of the truck.
You put the bipod up, you go off the hood.
Yep. Or if that, like he was driving with a fucking rifle out the window, just going.
Yeah, that is the shit that like when you see people do it like in a video, you're like, why'd you post that? But it does happen. 100% does happen. I've never shot something out the window of a truck.
Yeah,
I definitely have. We've been like driving out from the day, and there was like something legal to kill.
Yeah,
like I shot a moose one time, and we hunted.
Did you kill it?
Yeah, we hunted. I was 15 years old. We hunted 18 days that season. We hunted our fucking balls off for this moose, and the last day, because it's the day we got one. We were driving out from like a failed attempt to get a moose. Like there were a bunch, and I kept every time I'd get close, then like I'd take one step too far, and they'd spook or something.
Oh man!
And it was so disheartening. I was 15. There's a week left of this tag that you have to wait 7 more years before you can even apply again.
Oh, that's
crazy. And I was like, oh man, I'm not gonna get it. We're driving out. We look to the right, and there's a damn moose just standing there 150 yards off the road.
Jeez.
Public land still.
Jeez.
And my dad was like, Nick, get out and fucking shoot it.
Yes.
And I did. Yes. I got out. I kneeled down like in the road, and bam, and I got him. I was 15. I got it through the front shoulder. It just crumpled.
You know, and
it was dope. I was so happy.
See, that might, I don't know who all listens to this, right? It might sound a little morbid to describe it like that. It sounds
pretty brutal, but like, I mean, I got a good shot. It dropped and died.
Yeah, and there's science behind getting these tags. Like the data proves that you can kill up to this many.
That's why that's why you'd have to wait 7 years.
Exactly.
With the moose tag, it's very limited. There's like 5 per region, and the region's like fucking the size of Rhode Island.
Here's what I'm saying. If McDonald's did not exist, people would not be bitching about you killing a moose.
No.
Period. Because they'd be like, that's food for the community. And like that, I think, I mean, you can...
I also don't think I'd ever shoot another one. At least in Montana. If I ever shot another moose, I'd be like going to Alaska.
Or like going up to BC or something like that,
something like that. You shoot one of those gigantic, the big bulls, the ones that weigh like 1,800 pounds.
Dude.
Like the Yukon moose.
The ones where like a semi-truck hits it on the road and it does more damage to the semi-truck than the semi-truck does to it.
Also because I think something just happened in Montana, not hunting, just like the moose population took a downturn. Because we used to see a lot of them. And then starting like 5 6 years ago, we just haven't seen as many. So I'm like, I don't want to. I don't want to hunt a moose.
Hate to sound like Greenpeace guy over here, but probably global warming to a degree.
No, 100%. Climate change is very tied to like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, and if you see, here's the thing. Like, I'm not much of a hunter, but I'm a huge nature enthusiast, and when I'm outdoors by myself, especially when I'm camping, I really pay attention to nature, and like I like to study up on it. I like to read books on it, and it's
I like if a bird is sitting around in the campground, I like to know what it is. That kind of thing.
Animal migrations and stuff like that. Like if you pay attention to where the animals are going and when and how it differs from years past, like you can actually learn a lot about what's going to happen to your environment and the humans that live in that environment and like what to prepare for. It's basically like a innate almanac of sorts that we have in our head of like, oh, there's less fish in this stream this year. What's the difference? Oh, it's been 5 degrees hotter than it was for the last 3 years. It's like either the fish population's died out or they've moved to colder climes.
Yeah. And well, I mean, the fish here, there's all sorts of stuff, the dams and stuff with the salmon and steelhead.
Yep.
But it's more than that. I mean, I think the water temperatures this year, the drought is insane. There's going to be some fish die-offs this year, I think.
Well, definitely fish die-offs.
At least going back to Montana, I was looking at some of these rivers and streams. I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like, they're so low for this time of year.
It's like either that alarming. Or, like, in cases in some parts of Oregon, like, things are flooding. Because the ice melt from those super hot days that we had, like, 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was more than it's ever been.
Yeah, off a hood. Not only was it more than it's ever been, because you can see it when you look at Mount Hood. You're like, you look barren compared to like this time normally. But it was so quick in such a short period of time that certain areas like overflowed compared to what their capacity is.
Like the White River and the Sandy, did they just blow out after that?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just like, wow. I mean, so in some places there's probably more capacity to have wildlife, and then other places like probably I can only imagine like out in Prineville and parts of Bend and stuff. Yeah, it's like it's probably worse, and just like that's the scary thing, man.
Yeah, climate change is really. I mean, it's a bummer, but it's also kind of interesting to watch. Like we're seeing some really crazy shit go down.
You know what's nuts is I think that in our lifetime we're gonna see kind of Hawaii become like this modern day Atlantis in a weird way. And that's not so much conspiracy theory.
Like you think it's going to go underwater?
I think absolutely.
Or parts of it?
I mean, I think parts of it will go underwater quicker than people expected, given the fact that it's just an island, and there is like, there's studies that are showing that the ice melt is happening quicker in like large glacial up north.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. A lot of the stuff that's super low elevation, Hawaii will probably be fine, parts of it at least, because it's so mountainous. Like every island there, it's super like high elevation places.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, all the towns are right next to the ocean, so it's like
and that's
kind of sketch.
It is.
Florida's fucked.
Florida's screwed. Visit Florida while you can.
Yeah, because the Bahamas, go there.
Yeah, the Bahamas. Now. I mean, dude, and
Bahamas are actually amazing.
Well, there was I forget. God, I feel like it's so weird bringing stuff up when you don't remember exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's the point of podcast.
There is you
talk out of your ass.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're doing a good job of it.
Oh, we're crushing it. That's what I do every week.
There's a city in, I think it's Southeast Asia is what I want to say, and I don't know if it's like a province of China or if it's a province of like India or something, but it is like this whole big metropolis that was bayside and like coastal, and they're starting to literally rebuild the city like 10 or 11 miles inland, and I mean a huge metropolis with like millions of people,
like Singapore or like Hong Kong or something like that.
Yeah, but it's not one of those.
Not one of those. It's another.
Yeah,
Jakarta.
Maybe I think it might be that. Yeah, I think that might be it.
Huh.
And it's starting, like they know that very soon. Like you can already see the impacts on the city and like the sewer lines and everything. But they know that all this stuff that they built.
They're like, as the water rises, this city's going to be.
They
fucked,
already know, so they're moving.
Dude, like that's smart.
Taking apart the city in some parts.
That'll never happen in this country.
No, we're gonna ride or die till the very end.
Somebody's gonna design a seawall. Before they do that.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, and that's gonna fail.
Oh yeah. Well, we saw how the dikes worked in freaking what was
New Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans. It's like this is a great idea, and then they weren't, and then they failed. And
so you would think they'd learn from that, but I guarantee they won't.
No, it's crazy to think about like what we might experience in our lifetime as far as climate events that we wouldn't normally see. It's gonna be some
wild shit.
Well, like, dude, okay, so people are talking about.
We already have had wild shit. That crazy heat a month ago. 116 degrees.
Okay, 116 degrees here, which all right,
Portland.
I can get it. At the beach, granted, it was just for a day, but at the beach, it hit 99 degrees at the beach. On Seaside in Astoria,
like with the very cold air mass of the Pacific Ocean right next to it.
It hit 99 degrees, and like I saw that, and I was like, "We're fucked," because if you can't go to water to cool down at some point, and it's just hot, and all this stuff becomes arid, we are so screwed.
Yeah, we're gonna have to move north.
Canada, look out, baby. We're coming to take your moose, like we're coming up there,
we
man.
already buy your shoes.
Jeez Louise. Yeah, Nick already buys your shoes.
Yeah, I already buy your shoes.
You're already half Canadian,
Careful, keep that. Y'all are going to have to build a wall up there.
Have you ever worn all denim at any time?
No. I really need a nice denim jacket.
Yeah, I have a buddy.
I haven't really done the double denim thing.
I have a buddy where, granted, well, it's like part of it's like a shtick almost, but when we go to a party or like when it's a party of our friends, he will wear all denim, and like he has we call it a Canadian tuxedo. It's a really nice denim jacket. He has a white shirt, or sometimes he will wear like a denim button up under the denim jeans.
Denim's the shit though.
It's
so awesome.
It's great. I love it, but man, I don't think I'd look good in all denim.
A 3-piece denim costume is definitely, that's a little much.
That would be way too much.
All right, well, we've done a good amount of time.
I think like
this has been super fun. I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so when the sea levels rise, you're out on vacation. You're in Hawaii, and your hotel suddenly sinks, and those boots are in the room. and they float out to sea. And they get eaten by a shark or something. And the insurance decides to hook you up because they're like, this is crazy. We didn't think that one glacier would just melt that fast. That was wild shit. We never saw it coming. And so they hook you up with the money for these boots. Are you replacing these or are you getting a different pair?
Oh, man, I got to be honest. Okay, so I would probably replace getting those with another pair of these.
Okay.
Because so these are about $130 more expensive, and they are a nicer cut, I think. So like this shoe, and I'll hold it up because like this shoe, this is like a workman's shoe.
Yeah.
It's very heavy. I mean, you can even hold it if you want from the top. Like that's a heavy ass boot. I mean, it's not super heavy, but it's dense. It's really dense. So you've got this heavy boot right here, and it's all leather, so it's hot. It's great for the winter, but really it's not great for summer. It's just heavy. You're going to sweat a lot in it.
For sure.
It's not fur-lined, but, you know, it's meant to be kind of like
but
thermally
she's a little
compact.
toasty.
Yeah, this is a little bit more lightweight. I like the color of the leather more, right? And I like the slim look when I because I like to wear jeans that have like a
because for the most part you're wearing these more as like an everyday shoe.
Exactly.
You didn't buy these like specifically for a job site.
No, exactly. And like these, those
are very job site type of boots.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised they don't have a steel toe.
Yeah, and like, I could have gotten these in a steel toe for $15 more, but they don't have a steel toe.
Yeah.
So, but these are really nice. They're waterproof. They're pretty much all weatherproof, and I like them a lot. But from the cut and the utility of the boot for an all-purpose boot, I wouldn't buy these again, just so an all-around, like, wear it around town or potentially to dinner kind of shoe.
Sure.
This I totally would.
Much more of
because without
wear it everywhere type of.
Yeah, without the keen soles that are on this, like the bulky kind of brick soles that you see for gripping.
Did they have more of like this kind of sole?
Yeah, they had more of like
sleeker?
This kind of sole, a little bit flat, kind of, and they looked really clean, man. Like I could wear those out to dinner.
Yeah, kind of like a Red Wing almost.
Exactly.
Where it's like dress and utility kind of.
Exactly, combined into one. And so yeah, I'd spend. I mean, these were about when I bought them, I got them on a deal because they were running out. They were $220 when I got them on a deal. Now when I go online and look at the price for them, because they don't carry them in a lot of places in Portland, and if they do, they're like $50 more expensive than they should be.
Yeah,
these average about $299. Okay. So I'm like, for me, especially because I've gotten 3 years out of these, well worth the investment.
Yeah, no, boots are like that. You kind of have to, I think, spend some money. I mean, this is outrageous, but like you definitely have to spend.
It's a little outrageous.
It's completely fucking stupid.
But now you got flex. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is that's
do,
nice.
But you don't.
Yeah.
The other thing is, like, you guessed how much these cost, and it was like a high amount of money, and it was way less than they were.
I felt a little bad for you.
No, it's fine. They're brown boots.
Bro, you better never get a dog that's going to chew those boots.
I'm not a dog person.
Dude, see, there you go.
And partly because I don't want to fuck up my nice boots. All right, Drew, go ahead, promote anything you got to promote. What's your Instagram, whatever you want to throw out there?
I'm drew.wilson.mcgrath on Instagram if you want to look me up for the comedy thing. I run shows out on the Oregon coast at the Astoria Hammond KOA because I am who I am. So that's a nice fancy campground where there's a bunch of people with fancy trailers that want to watch comedy. I run a show there, and I run a show at the Capricorn Pub in Astoria. And yeah, I'm kind of out on the coast as much as I can be because it's beautiful and I like driving. But other than that, I do comedy around Portland. So come to Portland and watch comedy things happen.
All right. Awesome. Thanks
you for
doing the
having
podcast.
Me. Hey, this was a lot of fun.
No, it was super fun.
Yeah, shout out to you and Bjorn. This was great.
Thanks. All right, guys. If you like this, even if you don't, hit the like button. Subscribe wherever you're listening. We got a new episode every single Wednesday. Follow us on Instagram at Size10 Podcast. Thank you so much for listening.
All right.